What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the greatest gaming podcast on the internet, the One Up Gamescast. I'm one of your hosts, Carl Sinclair, joined as always by my brother from another mother, the man with the plan, Master Chief in the streets, Master Cheeks in the sheets, Jack Gibb. How you doing, buddy?
Mate, I'm doing great now that this is an Aussie broadband sanctioned podcast.
Thank God. Thank
We're
God.
connected, we're talking to each other, and we're recording. It's great.
Internet's one of those. You know what? I'm not even going to say internet. I'm going to say NBN's one of those magical things that can just decide, not today. You know what I mean? Like, just not today. But hopefully,
yeah, look, it's come a long way, but it's definitely got a few more steps to go.
a little bit longer to go. You know what I mean? It's like we're almost there. We're almost there. How you doing, bud? How are you? We've had a big week.
It's been a big week.
big week.
Personally, it's been a big week in the video game realm. Like Gears of War for the first time. That was fucking delightful.
I had so much fun. I cannot lie to you. It's been so long since I played Gears, and it was just so much fun jumping in. And yeah, I can't wait to jump back in again. I'm very keen.
Oh, me too. I'm excited. But unfortunately, next time we play Gears, we may not get rewarded with a Nintendo Switch reveal.
True.
Last time.
That is true.
It's all downhill from
That's
here,
true.
mate. But no, good week, and then next week we've got the Xbox Developer Direct, so it's all happening.
It's all go at the moment. So let's talk about it. Let's jump in because I feel like it's going to take we got a lot to talk about here. How that Switch reveal felt so much like it was a trailer drop at midnight, and it felt so much like there. Are you happy now, you sons of bitches? Take it. You know what I mean? Like, there, you wanted it, there it is. I felt like we were being punished.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like when we got to the end. And then it was like, find out more in April. I'm like, oh, we're in trouble. We're in so much trouble. They're upset.
If we were meant to get that trailer, we were meant to get it in March. I feel like maybe that trailer was just get it open the fucking Direct, maybe.
Probably.
And at the end, they thought, oh, we better tack in the backwards compatibility thing because that's all people are going to care about, which, yeah, they're spot on.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, let's talk. So they dropped a trailer. Basically, the trailer in a nutshell is you see the original Switch that transforms into the Nintendo Switch 2. Don't like the name, but that's fine. They have to put a 2 at the end because the Wii U was a train wreck. It looks good. It looks cool. A little bit of color in there. It looks like a bigger Switch, which is what we want. I have seen it's been a bit interesting. So like there's been a lot of people online that are super hyped about it, but there've been the occasional people that are like, oh, this is a bit underwhelming. This is just a incremental upgrade. This is nothing.
I wonder if those are the people that have invested very heavily in Joy-Cons.
Probably.
Which are all losing their compatibility soon.
Well, yeah, probably.
They may be compatible wirelessly for Switch 1 games. I don't know. But
I believe they are compatible wirelessly. They just will not click on.
It's not bad.
That's not bad, yeah. I think that's pretty good. But, I mean, I thought, great trailer. Very cool, very hype. I think there's lots of little Easter eggs in there that aren't going to be truly known until we get the April Direct, which I assume will have all the games as well as a little look at the system and what it can do, which I'm very excited about. I'm not going to lie.
I mean, even just looking at the picture of it, like there's a button on the left side under the D-pad, which I believe was like a screenshot button on the first Switch.
Yes.
But it's also on the right Joy-Con. I don't think the original Switch had it on the right Joy-Con.
It does not. The original Switch has one button on each side. There've actually been a lot of rumors about like all these different buttons and what they do, and some of them have been proven absolute bullshit. Some of them are still up in the air. Like
the only buttons that excite me are the Z buttons on the third trigger button.
Yep.
Because we need that. Look, I know it can be a challenge for accessibility, so I don't want to sit here and be like, we must have it. But a lot of games, we're getting to the point where it's like, hey, Jack, if you want to lunge, you've got to hold down B, hold down LT, and somehow shake your ass, and then you'll lunge. It's like, oh, great, okay, cool. Whereas a third or fourth button on the back there, it would just help with. It would even free up a button to be like, oh, this is now the scoreboard button again. Whereas these days, it's like hold down the touchpad and A, and you'll get a scoreboard, and it's like that's not even 2 buttons you can press, but you get the idea, right? So I'm excited to see where the extra buttons go, especially on Nintendo games, which typically Like Mario Kart, oh, you can drive with B or A.
Yeah,
You know, like,
I feel like
how are they going to use more buttons in that game? So I'm excited.
I feel like it's going to be like, considering that the Joy-Con is such a unique controller in itself. I feel like having those back buttons are going to be great for when you're playing something like Call of Duty, and then you just got a couple extra buttons for like melee, crouch, or slide, or something like that. I think it's going to be
so true.
really needed. But I think
You
what's
know, it
also
might offset some of the struggle of holding the Joy Cons as well.
True.
Like, some of the claw things people do might not be as easy. Anyway, I cut you off there. You were going.
I was just going to say, I think that back button's going to be super, super, super handy when it comes to using like a single Joy-Con as a single controller, because they've really thought about that experience a lot. You can tell just from the trailer that like the actual snap in, which is completely different now, it's like it's raised, so the bumper buttons are a lot higher than they used to be. I think having that button at the back will be super cool. For one of the games we seen it in the trailer, it was Mario Kart. Like, just being able to use that as like the drift button or the item button or something like that, having a quick sort of button at the back there to be able to throw an item, I think is going to be, I think it's just going to change the way that you play Mario Kart, or at least make it easier to play like on the go, which is what the Switch has always been about. You know what I mean? Like, play at home, play on the go. Just giving that on the go experience a little bit more, I think is definitely what they're
I feel like with the Switch One, it wasn't like the most hardcore console, and what I mean by that is like the Switch One had hardcore games, you know, all sorts of games. The whole spectrum of games was covered. But that specific like mass appeal, like the Call of Duties, like I feel like it just sort of didn't have anything to offer that group of people. Now I'm sure people would rebut that. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not saying that as fact necessarily, but that's how I felt playing the console. Like, my Switch was always, I mostly played games on the Switch that I couldn't play anywhere else.
Yeah.
Whereas I look at the Switch 2 and I see some of the developers coming out and being like, we're excited about this, you know, Xbox has announced Call of Duty already years ago or whatever. You know, I'm gonna have to get a copy of COD on this as well. You know, like I'm probably gonna start playing this when I could be playing something else, and that for me personally is very exciting. And I know a lot of other people play the Switch that way already. I get it, but I like this is very privileged and maybe a little bit shitty to say, but like, you know, you're sitting here playing Apex Legends at 140 frames a second, at 1440p, going to the Apex version on Switch One. It's it's a rough jump, you know what I mean? Like, I know that's privileged, but it just sort of becomes the console that does what it does. Whereas the Switch 2, I mean, I'm not expecting Apex to run at 100 frames, but
it does
give me hope that, you know, maybe even a Siege or something like that could come across, and like, if we're at PAX, we can have a go at Siege, we can have a go at Apex, and the experience be truly good enough. Not just good enough like I've got no other choice, but good enough like we're all happy to be here.
Yeah,
exactly. You know, like, I would love to have a game of Apex with you guys in the same fucking room, and I would happily jump onto the Switch 2 to have that moment. I mean, if you guys could all bring your gaming PCs to Melbourne, that'd be great. Switch 2 is all you're bringing. Count me in.
Yeah, honestly, very cool, very keen.
Mate, you gotta tell us about Mario Kart. They showed off a little bit of Mario Kart.
Mate, I scoured that trailer. You know, I was like, there's more going on here. There's a lot going on, and people have done a much better job than me of like actually going deep into it. But basically, people are under the impression, right? There's a lot of people online saying this is just Mario Kart 8. I don't think so.
I agree. It can't be.
There's a lot in here that's very different. For example, there are a couple of karts in the game in this trailer that we've never seen in Mario Kart 8. We've never seen in a Mario Kart. Yeah, they were very, very different than anything we've seen before. Donkey Kong has a brand new design, which is the old design. So there's been a lot of rest in peace online today that they are now basically retiring the rare version of Donkey Kong, which we've had since Donkey Kong Country all the way back on the 64. That was the version that they use of Donkey Kong going forward. This is like arcade cabinet Donkey Kong. So this could possibly just be like another like another version of Donkey Kong. So you know how we've got like you look at Sonic, we've got classic Sonic and modern Sonic, and they sort of exist within the same sort of like thing. Maybe we're going to get like classic Donkey Kong and a modern Donkey Kong. But there's also, they dropped the Donkey Kong 2025. This is how deep I've gone, mate. They dropped the Donkey Kong 2025 calendar the other day. Every Donkey Kong in that calendar, from officially from Nintendo, is using the classic Donkey Kong. I think whatever this Donkey Kong game is using this Donkey Kong. I think it's like classic Donkey Kong.
Yeah, righto.
I'm very interested to see what this game turns into, because I can't see it being like the classic, like, you know, Jumpman going up and getting barrels thrown, but maybe we'll see some sort of homage to the original Donkey Kong and that sort of story, and then, you know, bringing it full circle. But who knows? Another thing is, it would appear that at the very start of the trailer, if you pause at the very start, at the starting line, as the biggest difference is, it appears that you can race with up to 24 people as opposed to 12. They've basically doubled the amount of races.
So hectic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they've effectively doubled the amount of races. Now,
see, this is what next gen's about to me, right? Instead of going, it's Mario Kart 8 in 4K, which is all we've got in this generation.
Yeah.
Like on the Xbox and the PlayStation, is like, hey, this is an 8th generation game that's in 4K that looks kind of shitter. This is an actual upgrade. We're doubling the amount of like shit on the screen. You know, and my initial impressions of the graphics, and it's a bit hard to tell in the trailer, but it seems a lot cleaner than Mario Kart 8, a little less fuzzy. Like, it seems like a very, it might be 1080p. Like, I'm not saying it's fucking 8K, but it seems very crisp as well. So I feel like they've really spent time where it matters, just on this initial impression. Let alone God knows what else they're cooking.
Sorry, I'm just looking. When I was at work today, I watched through the trailer and I wrote down all the characters I could see. In the trailer. Sorry, I'm trying to find.
No, you're right. I hope it's at launch. Like, I hope that's the fact that it was in this trailer sort of hints to me that it's going to be a launch title, which is very exciting.
Yeah.
Mario Kart 8 has served us well, and
it really has, hasn't it? I'll be interested to see.
With the you know, all the track packs and shit that 8 got, right?
Yes.
I would love to see with 9 we get like the initial run of tracks and all that sort of stuff, and then instead of just releasing more tracks, I would love them to do a bit of a like Smash Brothers, where it's like they start bringing in characters and stuff from across gaming. Or across Nintendo games, and I mean, they already do to a degree, I guess, but really like stretch out a little bit. Would be kind of cool.
Yeah, I'd love to see them take like because we haven't really seen. See, when it comes to a game like this, I think, and I'm probably going to regret this later on saying it, but like, I would not be opposed to like, hey, Mario Kart 9 is going to be treated like a live service game for 2 years. You know what I mean? Like, in a couple of months, we're gonna drop Link. We're gonna drop 4 thingos. We're gonna drop a Grand Prix, and we're gonna drop an online event. You know what I mean? Like, get ready for that. Okay, so I have my list. So here's who I seen in the trailer: Mario, Luigi, Bowser, Peach, Daisy, Wario, Waluigi, Toad, Yoshi, Birdo, Donkey Kong, Pauline, Baby Mario, Baby Luigi, Baby Daisy, Baby Peach, Toadette, King Boo, Shy Guy, Koopa Troopa, Rosalina. They're all the characters that are in this trailer.
Jesus, you did well.
There's
So Mario. Fair effort. Is that all 24?
I think so. I just counted it, dude. I was like, hang on, is that actually 24? Yeah. I think that's 24. Oh, sorry. That's 23. The 24th is Baby Rosalina as well. Baby Rosalina's in there as well. So Rosalina and Baby Rosalina. So
what's with the baby characters?
DS stuff.
Roger that.
Yep. It's just like a random little DS game. But there's 24 confirmed characters for a game that may have 24 people in a race, which could be mental. But yeah, I thought I seen somebody else in the trailer, and then I'm like, nah, I'm pretty sure that's just an odd angled Mario. We're just gonna leave it at that. I thought
We,
there was one moment
we
where
saw
I'm like, is that Metal Mario? Nah, it's not Metal Mario. There's no way. I'll let it go.
we saw a pit lane as well. It's hard to tell if
Mm.
it's part of the scenery of the track or if you mentioned to me last night about some rumors from back in the day about pit lanes being a thing.
Yeah, it was like Mario. I remember like back in the day when Mario Kart 8 was a thing, and they were talking about it was like just as like the Switch was about to be released, there was a lot of rumors that they were like, oh, Mario Kart 8 is coming to the Switch too, and they're going to add this Grand Prix that is like, you will like do laps upon laps upon laps, and there's a pit lane and everything like that. But it never materialized in anything. And could have just been somebody talking out their ass. But the fact that it's in this is like, maybe that is something they were thinking about back in the day, but they just thought limitations, time, put it all into a brand new game rather than trying to change one, you know, like it'll be interesting to see if that is something that materializes in this game or if it's just a pipe dream that someone had and got very lucky with the fact that there was a pit lane in this trailer. We'll see.
Look, we're getting ahead of ourselves. It's so hard to make pit lane fun in video games. Honestly.
Yeah.
Like even with Forza, like I haven't played a single race yet where they've given me less fuel than I need. You know, it's like
true.
you just know it's gonna. I did do a race in Forza where it started with the sun out and then a storm rolled through, like halfway through the race, and so I had to go into pit lane to change my tires. So I had to do a really rough lap in slicks in the rain and go into the pit lane. That was quite fun. But I don't know if I'd appreciate that every single race.
Yeah.
But it does make me think, did you ever play the V8 supercar games? They're like Token Racing or something internationally, but back on the PS2.
Yeah.
Those games were
They were great.
fucking amazing. Like
Yeah.
I honestly, my love for Forza, I still think there's things that those games did better. Now, I understand why. It's not a technical reason. It's more of a licensing reason. But in those games, you could damage the cars quite a bit. So, you know, the V8 supercars on Bathurst or whatever, for instance, you could lose a tire. You could literally lose the whole fucking wheel. You could lose a gear. I don't understand how in real life you would just lose fifth gear, but you could lose it in this video game. And if you went to the pits, they would put a fucking tire back on your car and a gear. They'd just chuck in a gear, I guess. I don't really know how that worked logistically. But anyway, long-winded way of saying that was quite a fun pit experience, but I don't know how that would translate to Mario Kart. I think, you know, if the pit was just kept to the Grand Prix style events, that might be
Yeah.
but
I would love for them to do that, and I would love for them to put their own like Mario spin on it. Like, I'd love for it to be like, hey, if you're in the middle of a glide and you get hit by like a shell, suddenly your glider's damaged. So you have to go a different way around the track, or you go to the pit to get a new glider. You know what I mean? Like, do something like that. That could be really cool. I'd love it to be something like, if you get hit by a blue shell, you got a pit. Like, you got a pit. You're in trouble, buddy. Like, get in the pit, get a repair, get out. You know what I mean? It'd be great.
You could get so interesting where it's like not using your glider will add 8 seconds. Pit lane will add 6 seconds. So if you've got 2 laps to go, you're going to want to hit pit.
Yeah.
If you're on the last lap, you might think about just skipping the pit.
I mean, even if they did something cool, like say you're like running last in the race and you go to the pit, and say there's like a little mini game, and if you nail that mini game, they give you a bullet bill. You know what I mean? And then you're like out of there and you like hit a bullet bill and you're gone. You know, you're finally starting to catch up. It's like your last little, I've only got one chance left. Let's hit it and try to get that bullet bill. Or it gives you a blue shell. It's like, okay, I'm going to throw this blue shell right at the right moment. You know what I mean? Like, reward people for doing something good. Because I feel like if you're in first place, you'll barely pit. So it's like, if you've got an incentive for people to go into the pit, I feel like that would be cool. But again, speculation. It'll be cool. Like, it'll be cool to see what they do with this. I'm not gonna lie, I'm excited. I was one of those people that was like, oh yeah, the booster, what do they call it, the DLC they did for 8, like the booster courses or something like that. I was kind of like, I just kind of want 9, and I think. Yeah, and I've still felt that way for so long. So the fact that we might finally be getting 9, I'm very excited. I miss like Mario Kart on the DS was like a time for me, and
honestly, I think it peaked there for me as well.
Yeah, it was so good, and nothing against 8. Love 8. 8's so much fun, but
almost perfect, honestly.
Honestly, it really is. The only problem is by the time it came to Switch, I'd already played it to death on the Wii U. You know what I mean? It was one of those, I played the crap out of it. So when it came, I was kind of like, yep, played it. And then when they introduced the booster course, I'm like, there's way too many other games going on for me to put time into DLC for this game. But this being a brand new Mario Kart and almost guaranteeing that like all of our friends are going to be on it day one. Like it's a new Mario Kart.
That's
like
gonna be very exciting. Yeah,
that's got me super hyped.
the extra tracks I feel like was them experimenting with like the revival of a game, live service, like a lot of interesting things. So I hope whatever they learn from that comes over to 9. I barely touched the Wii U version, so Mario Kart 8 on Switch was quite a treat.
Yeah, okay, yeah, fair call.
Yeah,
fair call.
and I brought the Switch just before going to Japan, so we spent a lot of time, in evenings and we were on trains and stuff, just playing Mario Kart on the Switch, which was quite a lot of fun. So I've got my money out of that game. There's no problem, but. Yeah, when it came to the booster tracks, I don't know. I think it was just like ready for 9 as well. So
I think that's going to be the standard when 9 launches. I think 9 will launch, and I don't think we'll either hear about it during this thing or we'll hear about it like at the very first Nintendo Direct after all this. That they're planning long support for this game with boosted courses and tracks and stuff in increments over the year. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
even
can
a
see them
track
doing
every
that.
couple of months just to keep it fresh. Like that
Absolutely.
wouldn't have to be much, honestly.
I can see them being like, this is the Smash Bros. Ultimate. We're intending to add every track you've ever seen in a Mario Kart to this game, but they're not going to do it in one go.
There's just one.
Moo Moo
It's
Meadows.
from the DS version. No, it's from the DS version, and it's like you're up on the side of a cliff, and there's like waterfalls, and the water can like push you into the
Yoshi's.
Maybe.
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
Memories of that track specifically on the DS, doing like local wireless play and stuff. Oh.
Yeah, so good. What a time! What a time. Yeah, I'm just like, what else can we really say about this thing? Like, look forward to April, everybody. April 2nd.
April 2nd, my friend.
April 2nd, we will be having a direct. But yeah, they confirmed backwards compatibility. Not every game will work.
No, but almost every game will work.
Almost every game. I don't know what games aren't going to work.
So I saw on Twitter, was it Nick Tacular or someone like local speculated that it'd be like that Nintendo Labs and stuff like that, like those
right.
more accessory built games, which seemed like a fair speculation.
That's fair.
Yeah. But I suspect it'll be like 1% of games, honestly.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be many. What else did the trailer give us? Yeah, they basically kind of confirm but don't confirm that the Switch 2 Joy-Con can be used as a mouse. I don't know what they're going to do with that. I mean, bring back Mario Paint. I said a lot of people online saying Kid Icarus Uprising. Like, this is them getting ready to test for, like, DS games and stuff being brought to the system. A Kid Icarus Uprising would fucking bang on a Switch, I reckon. I was actually surprised we didn't get a Kid Icarus game or an Uprising sort of sequel for the Switch 1. But yeah, we'll see.
Everything else.
But yeah, there was a lot of stuff that like, hey, would be a great way to play Pikmin. They said this is a great way to play the original Metroid Prime and Metroid Prime 3, which was on the Wii. You give it like the Wii controls. I don't want to play it like that. I like Metroid Prime with a controller. I don't want that. But no, all in all, great reveal. Yeah, great reveal. Thank you so much to Genki and everybody at CES for revealing this early. You guys are the reason we're getting a direct in April. You got us in trouble with Papa Nintendo. Don't appreciate that. But no, I'm keen. We'll be back in April to talk all about everything. I'm very excited. I'm not going to lie. I'm so glad that it's revealed. You know what I mean? There's no more questions about what this thing is. We know what it looks like. We know it's called Nintendo Switch 2. We know it's coming this year. Now we just speculate about the games. There was a thing that Jace Try said today, which was very interesting. It was, someone said that, why didn't they just reveal it in April? Like, if they were just going to, like, give us this trailer, why not just April? And he said that there were probably two really good reasons. One is that it's leaked. Like, we know what it is. Might as well get it out the door.
Yeah.
And two, due to contracts and stuff like that, anybody that is producing a game for the Nintendo Switch 2 can now talk about it. Like, this is they are able to start pimping out their games, which makes sense because from what everyone's saying and what we predicted, it's going to be a very short turnaround from direct to launch. So you want to be marketing your game for launch now.
I think that's a great point. Like even like Life of Pi, Playside Studios announced today like that's coming to Switch 2.
Yeah.
And it's like they probably developed it for Switch 1 and it just works on Switch 2. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
I don't know what the situation is, but they can start saying that, and that's great for Nintendo.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Well, of course. Speaking of games coming to the Switch 2, mate, there is no lack of bloody rumors this week on that front.
Yeah.
I don't know how much we want to get into it, but I do want to touch on one specific game.
Okay. I know what you want to touch on. Hang on. We did a bunch of articles on this, by the way. We did way too many. I think we did like 3.
I swear at one point we wrote the same article, but they're just different enough.
The one you're talking about, I threw in the Microsoft stuff at the end, but that was more about the fact that it looks like... I'll go over this really quickly. Let's talk about the one you're excited to talk about first. Go ahead.
Nate the Hate reports.
Mm-hmm.
He was the one that gave us the intel on like Sea of Thieves coming to PlayStation last year, and what's that fucking game called that came to PlayStation as well, Switch. Anyway, those 4 games. You know when they did the emergency podcast and they had a big panic attack and Hi-Fi Rush. That was the game I'm thinking of.
Yep.
So he's quite reliable in that sense. He also predicted that Nintendo would reveal the Nintendo Switch 2 today, which they did. So don't know what his sources are, but so far
it's me. I'm the source. Don't tell anybody.
You're all over it.
I just guessed.
He says that among other things, Microsoft is bringing the Master Chief Collection to the Nintendo Switch 2, and I think he says PlayStation as well, or assumes PlayStation. I can't remember which one, but Master Chief Collection on Switch. That is something that we have actually talked about a lot.
A lot.
And I'm thinking like 3 or 4 years ago. Like we've been open to that idea specifically for a long time.
Since the inception of our podcast, we've been talking about Halo everywhere but Xbox.
Like I have mixed feelings about a lot of what's going on. Like the idea of the next Halo game launching on PlayStation day one is like that's a big change for people. You know what I mean? Obviously a great change if you're on a PlayStation. But Nintendo Switch having the Master Chief Collection feels so good because that game represents a huge amount of gaming history, and so having that in more places, being able to play that in more places, I don't think is a bad thing. But yeah, that running on the Switch 2 as well would probably run quite well, which is quite exciting. I don't know what else to say. I've got a lot of feelings. They're all positive, honestly.
That's good. I'm imagining loading up the Master Chief Collection, going in there, completing some sort of event, and being able to wear Samus Aran's armor from Metroid, or I'm like, please make that a thing. I would love that. I love that so much.
They started experimenting with skins and shit in the Master Chief Collection a few years ago, and it's not as bad as you would think. Like it's all right. So there'd be room for some of that stuff, I think.
Hell yeah! Should we talk about some of the other games rumored to come to Switch too?
Yeah, I was just thinking I could sit here and blabber on about Halo and my excitement, but the other things reported included Flight Simulator on the Switch. Just a surprising one, to be honest. I was surprised that wasn't more of a PlayStation thing. I don't know. It just seems like anyone that's really into flight simulators would have figured out another way to get it by now. You know what I mean? Like
Flight Simulator is going to be that one that like is going to run terribly portably, but it's like it's going to be that thing where it's like, look guys, I'm on a plane on my way to America, and I'm also playing Flight Simulator, doing the exact same route to America.
Nice.
Yeah. Legit, yeah. It's like, it's a great way to be like, I'm flying the plane with the pilot. Oh, good job, little Timmy. I'm 34. Yeah, good job, little Timmy.
Nate the Hate goes on to say that existing Microsoft games on the Switch will get upgraded for the Switch 2.
Mm-hmm.
Jez Corden jumps in from Windows Central and basically says Nate the Hate's all over it. He also adds, though, through his own sources, that Hellblade 2 Age of Mythology and potentially Gears of War 1 Ultimate Edition will be coming to the PlayStation 5.
I think Age of Mythology would bang on Switch 2.
I very much agree. I think Halo Wars as well. I think strategy games on the Switch is a thing that should exist.
Especially with the mouse thing that they've got teasing. I think there's new ways to play.
Fuck, not that you need a mouse for Halo Wars, but yeah, like some of the like Age of Empires and stuff, a mouse is definitely.
Imagine being on a plane with the drop tray and you're playing Age of Mythology and you're using a Joy-Con as a mouse. Like just being able to do that on the like, that's sick. There's also a whole bunch of other games that were also leaked. It would appear that Assassin's Creed Mirage will be coming to the Switch too. Metal Gear Solid Delta.
I fucking called that.
You did. Also, Shadows is in development for the Switch, but will not hit launch. Won't be ready for their launch window. It'll be a Christmas game.
Shadows did get delayed this week, but I think it's still coming out for the Switch too.
Yes. Apparently Ubisoft is like backing them incredibly hard with like over 14 games apparently in development for a launch window for the Switch 2. These include ports as well as new games. It is rumored that we are going to get both Division 1 and Division 2 ported to the Switch, both available separately and as a bundle with all the DLC. You'll be able to get Rainbow Six Siege Day 1. The Mario Rabbids games that will be coming to Switch 2 is a single package, having both campaigns all in one on one cart. It is also rumored... There was something else that was rumored that was big. Maybe it was Shadows that I'm thinking of. Yeah, maybe it was Shadows. And then, yeah, they're... When I seen Metal Gear Solid Delta, that's what threw me. I was like, whoa. Like, man, they are... Switch 2's getting some fucking support. And I mean, that's something we do see a lot with like launches of Nintendo consoles. It's like third parties are there for launch and the first year, and then they drop off. But the fact that we're getting this much support from these studios, and look, Ubisoft's having a rough one and they just want to get games out there. I get that. But it's nice to see they clearly think, oh, this thing can run stuff, because the Division 3 is years away. So it's interesting you're already porting Division 1 and Division 2.
What this does do, though, is it means that engine works on the Switch too.
100%.
It means the Assassin's Creed engine works on Switch too. It's definitely... I think they're probably... whether the thing is the most powerful portable console on planet Earth or not, they're trying to learn it so that they can get their shit to run later on as well.
Yeah, 100%. But King...
I know I said this last week when we were sort of predicting the Switch 2, but I'm very excited for like games from the last 10 years to get another go.
Yeah.
Like it's such a great opportunity, because shit that came out in 2014 or 2015 should run great on this thing.
Yeah, very true. That's very true. That's very true.
All good things.
All good things, and we will have more to talk about with the Switch 2 as more things are released. And be sure to check out oneupgames.com, because we have a whole bunch of like written stuff about the rumors leading up to and the reveal of the Switch 2, as well as the other big news this week, mate.
Oh, the Black Flag's getting a remake?
Oh man, I'm excited, but I'm also kind of like, Black Flag was not the one that needed the remake. The first game needs that remake.
You're probably right in a lot of ways, except for commercially.
I mean, yeah. The problem is, right, is I think a remake of Assassin's Creed 1 is it's not only is it needed, it feels like more of a surefire bet. Like Assassin's Creed 1 is rough. Fucking up Black Flag could tarnish the legacy of the original.
You're right. It's a little risky.
It's very risky to
talk about fucking upgraded gameplay mechanics. It's like, oh, that could mean anything.
That's what I'm saying.
A couple of upgrades might not hurt. Might be a good thing.
I'm hoping that just means that they're like upgrading combat. You know what I mean? Making it more modern. You know, maybe upgrading the parkour a little bit. Yeah, you know, like this is a remake, not a remaster. So going in there and making some changes. Like, we've seen the movement system from Shadows. If that's in Black Flag and it's very piratey, that could be very cool. Like, that could be sick.
Good game too.
It would be, and it probably will be. But no, man, I was talking about the Developer Direct. Xbox's Developer Direct for 2025. We got... I
was going to say, this news isn't even on the front page of the website anymore. That's how busy shit's been.
It's been so full on. I swear to God, I'm like There's so much going on. I'm trying to keep up with it all. I'm not doing a great job, but my goodness, like there's so much going on. But yeah, they announced the next developer direct, and they announced some pretty sick games. We're getting a look at Doom: The Dark Ages, South of Midnight, Claire Obscure, Expedition 33, and they also announced a mystery game. A mystery game. Young Jack.
Mate, that's exciting. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Don't say that word.
And, well, I'm excited to check out Doom. I cannot wait to see that. I think it's going to be. I think that thing's going to steal the show. Unless this mystery game is what it's rumored to be, then it will definitely steal the show from Doom. But I think Doom is that surefire bet for this thing that's going to steal the show. South of Midnight, from everything we've heard, sounds amazing. So I'm very keen to see more of that. And Expedition 33 is such a weird little game. And I'm so glad it's going to get like a piece of the action here. Yeah. I'm excited to see more. I think it's gonna. I feel like that's gonna be that one game that, like, when we get to the end of the year and we're talking about game of the year, it's gonna be that one there. I'm gonna slip in like, oh, by the way, this game, ooh, so good. And then Jack's gonna be like, I didn't play it. Stop talking about it. And I'm gonna be like, bro, you should have played it. And then he's gonna be like, shut up. I'm like, all right, sorry. But the mystery game. We're gonna talk about that to end the show, mate. There have been some interesting little tidbits released about this, okay? And I, for one, am super excited. So basically, Jez Corden came out, right? And he was talking about the developer direct. And then got to the fourth one. He said there's also a mystery fourth game, which he knows. He knows. He goes, I won't spoil what it is, but our sources indicate that it is a new entry in a legendary Japanese IP, which has decades of history and should make a lot of fans happy. Decades of history.
Decades of history with Xbox? Like, obviously not, right?
I think it does.
Okay.
So, right? Should make a lot of fans happy. Decades of history. The internet was ablaze, mate, with rumors and theories, and a lot of people did come to the same conclusion as me, which is crazy, okay? So, here's what the big things were, right? So, a lot of people said it could be the rumored Persona 4 remake, or the Final Fantasy 9 remake. I tend to disagree because he made very clear that it is a new entry in a legendary franchise. I don't see remakes as new entries. You know what I mean? Then there are a lot of people online saying it's a new Tales of game. I'm like, Tales of is great. One of my favorite game series of all time. Legendary? You know, would he use the word legendary to describe a Tales of game? Then somebody said, what if it's Persona 6? I slapped that man down. There's no way that's not being revealed at a PlayStation event. Are you freaking blind? Like, are you crazy? It'll probably come to everywhere, but that's a PlayStation thing, okay? Then someone said something, and I was instantly like, see, I thought of it, and I'm like, I don't want to say it out loud because people will make fun of me. But then somebody else said it, and then somebody else said it, and I'm like, we're on the same wavelength. So, legendary Japanese IP, right? Decades of history. Also, this could decades of history with Xbox. I'm hoping that's what it is, right? This, in my mind, has to be, because if it's not, I'm going to cry, has to be Ninja Gaiden 4. We just got the announcement of that 2D game at the Game Awards. It's a legendary IP from Koei Tecmo. They're cooking stuff over there right now. The original came back all the way out March 2004, exclusive to Xbox.
Yeah, right, okay.
2 was also exclusive to Xbox, and they were exclusive for a while. 3 was the one that was the first one that went multi-plat, and then now they're everywhere. But it's decades of history with Xbox as well. We've just passed like the 20 years. I'm pretty sure 2013 or 2012 was when Ninja Gaiden 3 came out. It's been a while. Ninja Gaiden 3 was pretty bad, but I liked it because I was a dumb kid that got to cut everybody to shreds. It was great. Yeah. I could totally see Ninja Gaiden being the big mystery game.
If all his clues are accurate, that feels right.
That feels That feels like taking all those clues. It feels like he told us that it's a Ninja Gaiden. You know what I mean? Like that's what it feels like.
Nice, not bad, not bad.
I
think that'll make for a good show.
I will pee myself, bro. like if oh my god, the mic will peak. Like I will scream like a woman. I don't know if anybody's seen my reaction to Stellar Blade coming to Nikkei. I will get higher than that. It will be so high. Oh, I hope it is. I'm not against the Tales game. I'm not against it being like one of these remakes. I'm not against it being just a random game. But the problem is now is people are talking about it. I'm thinking about it. And if it doesn't get announced, then it's always going to be in the back of my mind of like, we need a fourth one. You know what I mean? Like people are ready for a fourth one. We got there. People are ready for it.
As for the surprise though, like it's they've called it a surprise, so it's got to be big, and I feel like that would fit the bill.
Yeah, I think I would probably like take a week off work, just because I would probably piss myself for the whole week of excitement if it was like Ninja Gaiden 4 got announced, we got a gameplay, and then they dropped a date at the end. I would cry, bro. I'd be so excited, dude. Oh my god, that would be.
I mean, if it's not a developer direct, it's got to be coming out this year, right? Like that seems
Yeah.
to be. I mean, not by law it has to, but that seems to be the idea.
Well, here's the big thing then, right? These games are definitely coming out this year, right?
I mean, Avowed was at last year's developer direct, so there is a chance of slippage.
There is a chance of
not
slippage.
by
There is a chance. There is a chance. Oh, Avowed comes out soon. I'm pretty keen. Let's to end the show. Where do these games fall? When do they come out?
I think South of Midnight's soon. Like I think, like definitely this half of the year.
Yep.
A lot of people are saying Doom could also be this half of the year. I don't see that personally. I think that'll slot in later in the year. The problem is, because I think Fable will probably slip. Like I feel like Microsoft would get away with this year with like Avowed at the front, South of Midnight, have Doom at the back, with Call of Duty. A lot of exclusives, but that doesn't seem to be something they give a fuck about anymore. Expedition 33 can just drop whenever, it could drop in the middle of August and it'll do its thing. But as for like winning a competition here, I'm gonna say South of Midnight, April. Expedition, June. The mystery game can slot into August, and Doom can take October.
Okay.
And yeah, Fable next year. I think next year for Xbox is going to be quite a big year, because I can't help but feel like they're more like they've thought about their 25th anniversary more than anyone else has.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds like they should, but I think they really give a fuck about it, and I think they're going to try and use it to really springboard into the second phase of Xbox. You know what I mean? And I don't. Not saying everyone's going to be excited about that, but I think next year, I think a delay of Fable into next year for them will be like, 25th anniversary year, we'll make it a whole year.
Yeah.
Fable in March, Halo remake in November. Like, I feel like next year is going to be all about those core, a lot of, we've speculated ourselves about Gears of War ED this year, but imagine next year if it was Fable in the first quarter, I don't know, something in the second quarter, Gears in the third quarter, Halo in the fourth quarter, like Midtown Madness in the second quarter. There we go. Project Gotham Racing returns. I don't know, just something that every quarter there's like an absolute pillar franchise of Xbox. So yeah, anyway, it doesn't really help us this year, but I think Doom, I think they'll lean on Doom and COD and potentially one or two other games that get announced throughout the course of the year for the holidays. But yeah, that's my thoughts. What are your thoughts?
I think South of Midnight will hit April. Second week of April. I think I think Expedition 33 will be August.
Okay.
I think Doom I think if they know Fable's being delayed, I think Doom is November. But if
whereas if Fable's not being delayed, I feel like it's going to come earlier.
I think it's June.
Yeah.
I
I mean, that assumes that it's ready to go, of course.
yeah,
But yeah.
I think it's June. If
The problem is, I don't think we're gonna get a fucking date. I don't think we get a single date.
I
'Cause,
think I think
I mean, they probably know when Grand Theft Auto is coming out more than you and I do, but like,
yeah,
that hasn't been locked in concrete.
I think Doom is the only one we don't get a date for.
You reckon?
Yep.
Everything else can sort of just live
Yep.
one way or another.
I think Doom is the only one we don't get a date for.
You don't want Doom coming out the same week as Grand Theft Auto.
No, you don't. And I think Ninja Gaiden is October, November.
Fair. Okay. Look forward to seeing how it unfolds. I don't believe they'll want to put dates on. If it's not coming out by March, I don't reckon anything will get a date. I reckon this whole year we're only ever gonna get dates like a month or two before shit's coming out.
I think Compulsion is so close to being done. I think we'll get a date for that. I think April feels right. I don't think we're gonna get a random GTA reveal for April. You know what I mean? I think they know that's safe.
It's a fair point, actually. Like we're gonna have to at least get 6 months notice for GTA, right?
Basically, yeah. I also think I think because Sandfall Interactive are like a third-party developer, I think they have a date in mind. I think they know what they're going to hit, so I think they'll give us that date here. Unless there already is a date, but I'm not sure. I think Doom's the only one that doesn't get a date. I think Ninja Gaiden does not overlap with Grand Theft Auto people at all, and I think it's been so long since a Ninja Gaiden game or whatever this mystery game is. I'm just assuming it's Ninja Gaiden because I want it to be.
People would wait a week if they wanted to.
100%. I think people would jump the hell on that. And there's Game Pass. You know what I mean? All of these games are going to be on Game Pass. So it's like, there's also like, they don't have to worry about, you know, as long as people are up in their subscription for that month, people are going to be playing it.
Yeah, I think that's all fair. That's all fair.
I think it's good. Well,
I'm excited.
Only a week to go until we know more. Very exciting times lie ahead. Very, very exciting. I'm keen. It's happening at 5 a.m. though.
I'm probably going to watch it later in the day, to be honest. I'll watch it before the podcast.
Can I, if it's Ninja Gaiden, do I have permission to message you so you see it when you wake up?
Yes.
I'm looking forward to that. I'm gonna watch it before work. Oh, and by the way, wherever you are in Australia, if you want to know what time the developer direct is on, you can find the Aussie times for that over on oneupgames.com. So go and check it out. We've got all the Aussie times listed, as well as all the trailers for the games that are going to be shown. So if you want to get hyped before it begins, jump on in. But, mate, thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for keeping the website so well updated.
Mate, I haven't put anything on there today. I've been all over the place.
I have, so we're all good.
Oh, awesome. I'll put some more on there later. I'm very keen. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening and watching. If you're watching on YouTube, we really do appreciate it. Please feel free to, if you're on YouTube, like and subscribe. We really do appreciate that. And if you're on podcast service, just, follow the podcast, subscribe to the podcast, whatever they do over there. I don't know. I just do my podcast on YouTube. I was starting to realize that the other day. Like, I just chuck a YouTube video on and I just go. Maybe I should look more into like Spotify and stuff like that, listening to podcasts. But yeah, I'm pretty bad at that.
Give you some recommendations if you would like.
I would like that. But yeah, guys, thank you so much. We do appreciate it. Please head over to oneupgames.com if you want to keep up to date with everything Jack and myself are doing. Our socials are over there. Links to everything we do, the Twitch, the YouTube, all that fun stuff. The links are also on the YouTube page if you're here watching. Be sure to check that out. And yeah, show us some love over there. Read some articles. Interact. We would love it. Join the Discord. All that fun stuff. But yeah, that is going to do it from us. Thank you so much once again for listening. We really do appreciate it. Until next time, may all of your games be good ones, and we will catch you guys next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye.